All right, I'll play this Peyton Manning to the Broncos game for the next few months if you insist, but it ain't going to happen. 8 NFL teams are expected to express interest in the 4-time most valuable player who was released by the Indianapolis Colts today. The Redskins, Cardinals, Dolphins, 49ers, Jets, Chiefs, Seahawks, and Broncos.
I haven't thought yet about where I'll play, but I have thought a lot about where I've been.
Or is there really a chance that the Broncos could actually convince him to play with them?
You know, there's a much better chance than I originally thought. I think I ran my mouth right out of the chute 48 hours ago when the Colts released Peyton Manning, and I said, no way.
Well, you have great depth of knowledge. We appreciate your expertise on this. We're all just, pretty much passing sports fans, but we really appreciate your expertise. You have a great depth of knowledge about
We know the same amount, Marky. I just fake it better.
9 News sports anchor Drew Soicher is out at Broncos headquarters in Dove Valley. And Drew, you now believe that Denver may be at least on Manning's short list.
Very short, in fact, Mark. Things have changed since Manning was originally released by the Indianapolis Colts on Wednesday. He always planned on at least speaking to the Broncos as a courtesy to John Elway, but things have changed. He is now on a short list along with the Arizona Cardinals, the Miami Dolphins, the Houston Texans are a team that interests Peyton Manning, and definitely the Denver Broncos have become a much more serious player. Originally, Manning, like I said, was going to speak to the Broncos just because he respects Elway so much. But John has said something to Peyton Manning and his representatives. I think it has to do with acquiring more talent and some receivers and some old teammates from Indianapolis for Peyton that has convinced him to seriously consider the Broncos. And if this was a game right now, it'd be early in the first quarter and the Broncos would be leading.
From Colorado's sports leader, here's Drew Soicher.
Hi, everybody. Here's what we know at this moment. Former Indianapolis Colts superstar quarterback Peyton Manning, the National Football League's only 4-time most valuable player, is inside Broncos team headquarters right now meeting with John Elway, John Fox, and General Manager Brian Zanders about the possibility of joining the Denver Broncos. All along, Manning was planning on speaking to the Broncos just out of a courtesy to Elway, but I have learned this has become much more serious, and the Broncos are hoping he leaves Denver with at least a contract offer, if not a signed contract. This is still a ways away. Manning has whittled this down to a short list, which includes the Broncos, Dolphins, Cardinals, and Texans, but the Broncos are the first team to actually get Manning on campus, and they've been meeting now for nearly 5 hours inside.
And we start with breaking news about Peyton Manning. ESPN reports that Manning will become a Denver Bronco. He has instructed his agent to start final contract talks with the team. And we have team coverage about all this this afternoon. We start with Drew Soicher, who is at Dove Valley, with Rod Mackey with the latest. Good morning, Drew.
Hi, Greg. Here's what we know. Almost 2 weeks, 12 days to be exact, after the Indianapolis Colts released perhaps the greatest football player of all time, Peyton Manning picked up his telephone this morning and called John Elway directly just before 10 o'clock Mountain Time to inform him that he was indeed joining the Denver Broncos for what hopes to be the remainder of his career. He then called the remaining 2 finalists in the competition, the Tennessee Titans and the San Francisco 49ers, to inform them that he was not coming to their team and joining the Broncos. From what we're told, the place erupted here, headquarters behind me, when Elway put the phone down and informed his co-workers. You might ask yourself why the Broncos wanted Peyton Manning so badly and were willing to spend close to $100 million to get him. Well, here's your answer. Mr. Bolin really likes championship banners. He has 8 of them hanging from the ceiling here inside the lobby at the team's executive offices and training facility, and even more than that, he loves championship trophies, Super Bowl trophies to be specific, and there's still room for 1 more, maybe even 2 inside the case here at team headquarters in the lobby. Here we go.
Yes, that's always the thing.
Walking into the building now is Vice President John Elway. There's Peyton Manning. There's Peyton Manning arriving for his first Broncos press conference.
Peyton Manning will no doubt sign a lot of autographs during his time here in Denver, but somebody had to be first.
And you know what? Drew just seized the opportunity immediately after Manning was introduced as the Broncos' new quarterback.
I collect bobblehead dolls, and I was wondering if you wouldn't mind signing. We're going to have this thing painted into a Broncos uniform.
Broncos?
So,
Okay.
but I think if you signed the leg,
Okay.
we would leave the pants white, and that would be front and center. I'll give it a well-lit, dust-free spot in my bobblehead
Do that.
museum. If
Perfect.
that's okay with
You got it.
Have you signed many bobbleheads before?
I haven't signed many legs in a while, so
Well, Elway signed the butt on his, so this is
keep that between you and him.
It's very funny. There's the autograph right there. Peyton Manning on the left thigh pad. It's considered very unprofessional to ask an athlete for an autograph when you're a sportscaster.
And yet?
But it's never stopped me. When Nuggets head coach George Karl heard what happened to 9 News anchor Kyle Dyer, it brought back all kinds of unpleasant memories. Perhaps you've noticed that scar on the left side of George Karl's face and wondered. It's a dog bite from nearly 50 years ago.
I was a paper boy, and it was, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was delivering papers, and there was a German Shepherd on a leash, kind of up on a ledge that was face high, and I had petted him and always thought I was getting along well with him. Wasn't a long period of time, but I'd say at least a week or two, and I'd throw the paper on the porch, and I'd pet the dog and say, how you doing? I had a dog with me, so I think that could have triggered it, but one day I was petting the dog, and he was at face level, and he just snapped at my cheek here, and and obviously I was very traumatized. I was riding a bike at the time. Everybody says they remember me waking up the neighborhood screaming because I was riding the bike for about, probably half a mile back home.
Karl needed 20 stitches to repair his lip, but the damage was more mental than physical.
And it took me a while to get back to loving dogs, but I've had dogs my whole life, and my daughter got bit. My oldest daughter got bit by a dog on her cheek too. And so it's, it happens, but I still think dogs are very, very special to us.
Every case is different, but George has a pretty good idea of what Kyle's going through right now, and some advice for the future.
If she's an animal lover, I think she gradually should work her way back into getting back to loving animals, because one situation should not destroy your faith in. I think I think animals are very important in our world, and they do have rights, and I think we should be supportive of a lot of things in the way we treat animals. And I would just recommend that she maybe start off with a dog that she knows is very friendly, and spend time and move her, take it slowly, but take steps to fall back in love with dogs.
Incidentally, Kyle and George know each other. Their daughters are teammates on a girls basketball team that'll compete for a championship this Saturday, in fact.
Will you be covering it, Drew?
We'll be there live.
All right.
Not too many people get attached to a zoo animal. I mean, you really can't be friends with a lion, giraffe, or elephant. But I was, to Gidget the sea lion, and that's why it was so tough to learn today that she passed away.
Let's go with Drew to the Denver Zoo. It's the Gidget the Sea Lion Show.
Truth is, it all started as an inside joke.
Hey, Gidget, fresh football season. Ready to make some picks?
Supposed to be a one-time bit designed to prove that a sea lion could pick the winner of Broncos games better than we can. Turned out to be true. Over the course of her 7 prognosticating seasons, Gidget was right more than 60% of the time.
She means it. Broncos, high five.
But that's not what made the weekly segment one of the most popular features we've ever aired. Her personality did.
Broncos, give me some skin.
Gidget had an extraordinary disposition. Friendly, affectionate, and it helped that she was really cute. Gidget seemed to love swimming after rubber NFL footballs in the pool. Sometimes she'd show off
on the nose,
and her TV celebrity made her the most photographed and asked about animal at the zoo. Old age, arthritis, and loss of vision forced Gidget to retire 2 years ago, and she passed away at the age of 27 after a longer, happier, and much more high-profile life than the average sea lion.
I love you too.
We spent the day in the sports office tossing around Gidget's favorite toy. Made us feel a little better.
Fishy kisses.
Yeah, very sweet.